Of course, in breaking news, President Cyril Ramaphosa is to brief the nation on national security matters. That is happening on the 13th of July at 7 o'clock. And of course, the SABC will be beaming that briefing when it happens on Sunday, the 13th of July, 2025 at 7 p.m. This, of course, follows statements made by KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Phindile Mkhwanazi, that Minister of Police, Phindile Mkhwanazi, is affiliated with persons linked to criminal activities. He's also indicated that top police officials are involved in criminal activities. As you know, and as we've said earlier on, the National Assembly Speaker, Thoko Didiza, has directed Parliament, in fact, to consider on an urgent basis revelations of safety and security of the country. That's a statement that she made. The committees that are going to be handling and urgently looking into this matter are committees of Police, Justice and Constitutional Development, as well as the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence. Yesterday, too, we heard for the very first time since that briefing by Phindile Mkhwanazi from the National Police Commissioner General Fani Masemola, indicating and clarifying that in fact Phindile Mkhwanazi was acting within his terrain when he briefed the media last Sunday on these matters. Mkhwanazi has been accused of breaching police protocol by voicing the allegations publicly. He's also exposed senior police officials, of course, as well as the Minister of Police, Phindile Mkhwanazi, of meddling in these police operations and having links to criminal syndicates. Of course, that statement then followed by the Police Minister also issuing out a statement saying that he has never met controversial businessman Vusimuzi Kat Matlala, who was also a man who that name was brought into that briefing by the Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. The minister further saying that he knows only of a Mr. Brown Mkhotsi. He is just a comrade and a associate. Of course, that was contained in that statement by Police Ministry yesterday morning. That is in response to these explosive revelations by Phindile Mkhwanazi. Several police charges have been laid now against the Police Minister by the DA as well as ATM, and the infiltration, of course, by syndicates and rogue elements of the SAPS. This also emanated from the fact that the political killings task team was disbanded, and Mkhwanazi alleging that Minister Mchunu was involved in the disbandment of the KwaZulu-Natal-based political killings task force, as well as the DP there, Sibia. Of course, the presidency and the president's statement continues to read that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be addressing the nation on developments arising from that press briefing, allegations against senior political and South African Police Service leadership. There have been calls for the minister to also act against the police, the president rather, to act against the police minister, Phindile Mkhwanazi. I do understand also the MK party has laid those charges against the minister and not necessarily the ATM, but we do understand the ATM also has spoken out against these charges, but will continue to verify around those matters exactly how many of those political parties that have laid those charges. President Ramaphosa, of course, was at the BRICS summit in Brazil at Rio de Janeiro on Sunday when General Mkhwanazi outlined these numerous allegations at a media briefing, now saying that he will be taking the country into his confidence and addressing and briefing the nation on the national security matter.
Ramaphosa's key meeting with Mchunu and Mkhwanazi, Sunday's game plan revealed. You will have to wait for Sunday. That is what President Cyril Ramaphosa told journalists when asked about his decision on Police Minister Phindile Mkhwanazi following the explosive claims made by KZN Police Commissioner Phindile Mkhwanazi. Amid growing scrutiny, President Cyril Ramaphosa has scheduled an address for Sunday at 7 p.m. Ramaphosa is expected to meet Mchunu on Friday for a full comprehensive report over the commissioner's allegations. Mkhwanazi has arrived in Johannesburg for the alleged meeting, sources told Equator World News. This was also revealed by Deputy President Paul Mashatile on Thursday that government officials involved in alleged corruption and political interference in SAPS would meet the president. President is currently meeting with all who are affected, and he'll address the nation, as he said. So, let's allow him to finalize those proposals. We know everyone in the country wants to know the way forward, but I think it's the prerogative of the president to have the first bite on that. Mashatile told journalists on the sidelines of the late former deputy president, David Mabuza's memorial service. Some of the allegations included drug cartels and influential business interests. Mchunu has since refuted the allegations made by the provincial commissioner. However, this week, he reversed his previous stance on his association with businessman Brown Mogotsi. After initially denying any knowledge of Mogotsi, Mchunu has now acknowledged for months later that he does know him, although he described their relationship as limited to comradeship. During a parliamentary session in March, Mchunu had firmly denied any connection, stating unequivocally in response to questions from the Police Portfolio Committee, "I don't know this person," about Mogotsi. Political parties have called on Ramaphosa to act swiftly on the matter, with the Democratic Alliance urging him to act the same way he did with one of their own, Andrew Whitfield. Whitfield was expelled after an unauthorized trip. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks.